And I think to myself,
And I think to myself,
And I think to myself,
What a wonderful
What a
world.
wonderful,
What a wonderful world.
what a wonderful world.
And I think to myself,
What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
what a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world.
And I think to myself.
And I think to myself.
And I think to myself,
What a wonderful world.
wonderful world. And I think to
The biggest inspiration for the show is we want to bring to life all of our individual performers and give them an outlet to really feel almost like a part of the architecture of the show. Our show is inspired by Andy Warhol, which is super exciting. It's something that each one of the performers really understands their contribution to the show. It's fun because with Andy Warhol, we get to play with so much just different architecture and design and how each set, it's not just the drill as far as, the dots on a page, but how is each set actually textured within the overall production. And this show was really inspired by the fact that we wanted to take our individual performers and we wanted to create connection between them and the audience. And we wanted to give them an outlet to do that.
What a wonderful world.
What a wonderful
And I
world.
think to myself.
And I think to myself,
What a wonderful world.
The show to me is expressing just the joy and the goodness about our world. And it's called The Wonderful World of Warhol, but it has some source music like What a Wonderful World. And it's just kind of really a good representation, I think, of how beautiful our world is and how happy and all of the joy that is in it. And it just really hits home for me because I love how personal it can be and how each performer has a different story that can be told through the show, and they each have a different role in the show. And I think it's important to remember that everyone has different experiences, but we all, again, going back, we all come together to say how much we love What a Wonderful World and what a beautiful place that we live in is.
We knew that coming out of COVID, we wanted to try and make a run this year to Grand Nationals and see what we could do. And so we've been planning it for a couple of years now, just logistically trying to figure out numbers and everything. We're the early flight for that day. We have to fly. The school district doesn't want us to miss more than 3 days, and so we can't bus there and then bus back because it would take roughly 3 days to get there and back. So we fly there. Our first group is up and at the school at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And so they're here, they're getting their stuff loaded up, they get on the bus, they go to the airport, they get to the airport, they leave at 5:45 in the morning. We have 2 groups that are leaving, 5 groups total that are taken out from Salt Lake International. And, we range from like 5:45 to 9:45 in the morning. And then we all arrive in Cincinnati. It's actually cheaper for us to fly into Cincinnati and bus to Indianapolis than it is for us to fly straight into Indy. And so we bus in or get to Cincinnati all within 30 minutes of each other. The crazy thing is that, like most of the groups are going to be rehearsing the week going into Grand Nationals. Like, they'll rehearse Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If they perform on Thursday, then rehearse again on Friday. Like they do all that, right? Our truck has to leave St. George Sunday night in order to be to Grand Nationals for our arrival on Wednesday. And so we don't get there in enough time for us to do a rehearsal. So like the first time we will touch our instruments after our state championship is actually the Thursday in the convention center for our first rehearsal before we go on the field for prelims. So, and that's just logistically the only way we were able to make anything work. So, coming in as probably one of the farthest bands to Indianapolis, it's a huge undertaking and
low brass. Those individuals around that side of the curlicue significantly better that time. Let's do that every time. Cool? Never do anything except that. Yeah, I like that very, very much. What wins is we're coming across the side out here. Let's make sure that we're all...
Favorite moment from this year is just being able to see all that hard work pay off and to see that those kids that they were unsure about joining and that they didn't know if this was for them having the time of their life, them loving it, and those people that just keep coming back, them loving it even more.